The Lanark County Museums Network was formed in 1991. Since that time, members of the network have worked together to promote Lanark County, aiming to increase tourism and encourage visitors to discover local and family histories. The Lanark County Museums Network strives to make museums inviting and exciting places to visit, and they are dedicated to preserving the county's collective history. The network's strength has been in breaking down barriers to allow small, local museums and archives to promote themselves collectively, apply for grants, and organize communications and special events. This is especially important, as many of these museums do not operate year-round or rely on dedicated volunteers because they have no paid staff. The network's efforts have resulted in thousands of tourists, researchers, and others continuing to visit and use Lanark County Museum and Archive facilities every year. The network's efforts were recognized in 2004 with the Ontario Museum Association's Award of Merit for its work to prepare for the International Plowing Match held in Lanark County in 2003. In 2008, the group received $175,000 from the Ontario Trillium Foundation to revamp its image and continue to increase awareness for Lanark County's museums. In 2009, they received the Lanark County Award of Excellence for Heritage and Ecology. As we near the end of the 31st anniversary of the Lanark County Museums Network, thoughts of what lies ahead come to mind. Many opportunities exist to expand on the work we do, and some stimulating new ideas are already being explored. Exciting days are ahead. It is crucial to continue to collect, preserve, and make available to the public the history of Lanark County. We hope you will be part of it. Let's meet the current members of the LCMN. Archives Lanark began its history in 2002 when Queen's Park announced that the land abstracts, along with the supporting deeds and legal documents for all land transaction from the 1860s to the mid-20th century, were going to be destroyed. The foundation of the Archives collection is the land abstracts, deeds, and legal documents for Lanark County. In addition to these records, they also have a collection of historical-based resource materials, which include listings from local cemeteries, census records, early church records of baptisms and marriages, and local newspapers. One of the most treasured items in their collection is a deed for the transfer of a tract of land in the province of Upper Canada by William IV by the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, located in the district of Bathurst, dated the 21st day of October, 1831. This fragile document has the original clay seal attached to it. It is unusual to find one of these seals that is complete and unbroken. The archives have been fortunate to have been the recipient of the Perth Courier archives donated by the editor of the Perth Courier. In addition to the bound couriers, they also have original editions and microfilm of the Almont Gazette, Carleton Place Canadian, Lanark Era, and the Smiths Falls Record News. These items form only a small portion of the vast history of Lanark County. If you would like to see the photographs and glass slides by local photographer R.J. Steed, please go and pay the team at Archives Lanark a visit. The Carleton Place and Beckwith Heritage Museum celebrates the communities and inhabitants of the Carleton Place and Beckwith Township. Their beautiful limestone building was built in 1872 as the original town hall, and then served as the Victoria School from 1879 to 1969. The museum has been on site since 1983. Their permanent exhibit tells the story of community in the area. Here you will learn who has lived, worked, and played in what is now the town of Carleton Place and Beckwith Township through artifacts, photographs, and stories. Their local history gallery is complemented by a special exhibitions room with changing displays. In addition to exhibitions, they offer historical walking tours, research assistance, special events, lectures, and workshops. The museum has well over 10,000 artifacts in the collection, all generously donated by individuals, which include extensive archival and research materials. This includes three-dimensional items, photographs, and archival documents. Items are documented on their artifact database for easy reference. Larger items, such as furniture and Finley stoves, are stored off-site. The museum grounds include the Victoria School Garden, designed, planted, and maintained by the Carleton Place and District Horticultural Society members, who donate plants from their own gardens along with their time and gardening talents. Take a few moments to relax under the vine-covered tendrils and view the original Carleton Place horse watering trough, now a delightful planter. The Carleton Place Community Labyrinth is located behind the museum building. It is a 7-circuit, classical Cretan-style labyrinth. Constructed from paving stones and grass, the walk to the center is just under 0.5 kilometers. It was officially dedicated to the community on June 18, 2010. The Hall of Remembrance is a military museum located on the second floor of the Perth Royal Canadian Legion, which is the premier veteran organization in Canada. They work to provide a source of education on local military history, promote the remembrance of the servicemen and women of Canada's armed forces from Confederation to present, and to honor their service and sacrifices. The items in their collection have all been donated by branch members, families, and the general public. These stained glass windows located at the top of the stairs are at least 95 years old. The set depicts the 3 armed services of the Canadian Armed Forces pre-integration, the Army, Navy, and Air Force. They are a beautiful addition to the museum's collection and are of note due to their size and the fact that they are still together as a full set. They joined the Hall of Remembrance's collection when the Hall of Valor in Carleton Place was decommissioned. Since that time, they have undergone renovation and have become one of the museum's primary displays. The items in this display once belonged to Captain C. Bell. The 1812 Naval Officer's Cap and Ball pistol set provides an example of the sidearms of the era. They are in extraordinary condition and supported with documentation of the owner. The set, along with other items on display, were donated to the Hall of Remembrance Military Museum by Captain Bell's descendants. Located within the Remembrance Chamber at the museum, this collection honors Canadians whose service and actions in wartime environments have earned them the Victoria Cross. The Victoria Cross is the highest award issued in the British Empire. The Heritage House Museum is the municipal museum for the town of Smiths Falls. Former owner Joshua Bates began the construction of his large frame house in 1861, which features a mirror image facade and a 2-story privy. The site also includes changing exhibitions, a gift store, and grounds to enjoy. One attraction within the museum are their restored Victorian rooms, which depict the lifestyle of an upper-middle-class family. Throughout these rooms, the museum staff install exhibits, change artifacts, and provide new information regularly. Their Victorian morning exhibit was installed in the parlor room for the month of October. In the fall season, the site turns into the Haunted Heritage House, providing ghost tours, a fall fun day, and a haunted house. During the winter, it becomes the Holiday Heritage House, celebrating the festivities through programming. Upstairs, the museum has both a small and large gallery space that hosts temporary traveling exhibits, local art shows, and exhibits of the Heritage House artifacts. These exhibits are changed and updated frequently to provide new and interesting stories to the museum's visitors. Their theater exhibit focused on theaters in Smiths Falls throughout the years, featuring film posters, film reels, and theater seats, among other artifacts. Visitors come from far and wide to see the Heritage House's unusual privy, which was accessible from the upper level of the house. There are 2 shafts to the privy, and the bottom level is only accessible from the outside. This is the only remaining 2-story privy in Eastern Ontario. The Lanark and District Museum is located in the heart of Lanark Village and works to preserve and celebrate the vibrant history of the area. The museum officially opened to the public in July of 1977. Today, the museum continues to maintain a growing resource collection for historical research, in addition to their collection of artifacts. The museum's exhibits feature the ongoing history of the area through displays of local artifacts. Their exhibit on the logging industry in the area highlights the industry's impact on the formation of the community. It includes information and documents on local lumber mills, as well as various tools and other artifacts. The museum also features an exhibit on the extensive Lanark fire, which occurred in 1959. The fire started as a result of a spark at the sash and door factory. The event destroyed local homes and businesses, and the impact is still felt in the county today. The museum's Glanair Kitten Mill exhibit shows the history of the local and highly successful business. The business began when David Markle purchased the company Glanair Knit in 1944. The company was based out of Lanark and Toronto, but manufacturing occurred in the mill in Lanark. They originally produced blankets and motor rugs, but later made the shift into the sweater business and trademarked the name Kitten in 1951. The company went on to manufacture pantsuits, blazers, and more, and created 3 outlet stores. Unfortunately, over the course of the 1990s, the company slowly shut down manufacturing and their retail outlets until they went out of business in 2003. The Middleville and District Museum acts as a time capsule of life in Middleville and District from the time of its settlement to World War II. Their collection includes a large array of transportation vehicles, a living log cabin, and a former schoolhouse that encompasses extensive archives and family histories from the region. Their collection of transportation vehicles includes a hearse, a fully restored 1918 Model T truck, and a 1921 Ford car. Their living log cabin dates back to the 1800s and is installed inside the building. It was thought to have been built in the late 1820s and was the Baptist church manse for many years as well. The original part of the building was once a local schoolhouse. In order to celebrate this history, the space features an exhibit that showcases artifacts related to the school. These 3 exhibits offer just a sample of the museum's collection. They represent the center of the township's settlement and provide a window into the building blocks of a successful community: logging, transportation, and a significant school. The Mississippi Valley Textile Museum is housed in the annex of the former Rosamond Woolen Company National Historical Site in Elmont, Ontario. They work to encourage and participate in the preservation of historic buildings while also interpreting the history and development of the woolen industry in the Mississippi River Valley and its effects in the social, cultural, and industrial development of the region. They focus on interpreting the history of the textile industry and the use of industrially manufactured textiles in Canada, while also providing a center for the study of industrial textiles. Their foyer has been lovingly restored and highlights the museum's mandate to preserve historic buildings like this one. During this process, the walls of the foyer were painted back to their original color. Their exhibit, In the Middle of the World by guest curator Miranda Bouchard, features new tapestry work by textile artists Penny Burns and Judy Martin. This exhibit provides just one example of the exhibits that the museum hosts to honor and celebrate their region's textile heritage. This celebration is then continued within their gift shop. The gift shop features a great showcase of local textile craft and art. The North Lanark Regional Museum is owned and operated by the North Lanark Historical Society. Established in 1965, they are the oldest historical society in Lanark County. The museum is located on the former site of the SS No. 11 Appleton School and features both permanent and temporary exhibition areas that celebrate the regional history of Mississippi mills. The blacksmith and general store exhibits are prime examples of historic community businesses that shaped the village of Appleton and are emblematic of the experiences that could be felt throughout the North Lanark region. The Pioneer Cabin celebrates the hardships that the original settlers of Lanark County overcame and highlights both the differences and similarities of the past and present. The Perth Museum is located on Gore Street in Perth. The museum's mandate is centered on preserving and sharing the history of Perth, as well as the Matheson family, who spent nearly 100 years living in the home where the museum now resides. The museum contains 4 period rooms from the 1840s and 1890s, which contain many original furnishings from the Matheson family. You'll also find the museum's archives, a visitor information center, public washrooms, and Perth and Lanark history displays. When visiting, guests can enjoy the beautiful stone exterior, including the museum's garden and the grand front entrance. While it isn't used today, the door was once thrown open regularly to welcome guests inside, or so passers-by could catch a glimpse of the wealthy local family's home. At the top of the stairs on the second floor is the restored 1840s drawing room, which was used by the family to entertain guests. In the early 1840s, the Mathesons hosted a party on Christmas Day for 200 guests. Half of these guests were entertained by his wife Annabella downstairs, while Roderick hosted the rest in this room. One of the museum's most well-loved exhibits is the 1840s kitchen. Mainly set with artifacts from this year or prior, this room provides guests with a picture of what life in this kitchen may have looked like at this time. The kitchen would have been the busiest room in the house, as it is where all of the family meals were prepared. While the Matheson family themselves would not have used this space, many visitors mention that it is the room in which they feel most at home. These unique aspects of the museum provide a sense of what the home looked like when the Matheson family lived here, and give you an idea of what you will find when you come to visit. The Railway Museum of Eastern Ontario is located in Smiths Falls. The station was built in 1912 by the Canadian Northern Ontario Railway and is a National Historical Site. Their unique and interesting artifacts narrate the history of railroading in Canada. One unique feature in their collection is their dental car, a traveling dentist's home and office. In the 1930s, the Canadian government funded a program to provide free dental care to children in Northern Ontario's remote communities using converted passenger cars. This dental car was originally built in 1913 and was converted to a dental car in 1951. It remained in operation until its retirement in 1977 and is the only remaining dental car in North America. The museum recently acquired this dining car, which includes seating for more than 32 people and a full kitchen. Normally only used for special events, this car was originally built in 1899 for the Intercolonial Railway and traveled between Montreal and Halifax, but later it was converted to Canadian National. It has been carefully restored and offers a look into railroad dining. The Operator's Bay exhibit provides a look into station and community life, since the Operator's Bay was the center of communication for the station and community as a whole. The telegraph operator had many tasks to complete, including receiving and shipping express, selling tickets, giving train orders to train crews, sending and receiving telegrams, completing clerical work, and representing the railway to the public. The R. Tate McKenzie and Dr. James Naismith Memorial Museum is located at the Mill of Kintail Conservation Area in the heart of rural Mississippi Mills. The building's original grist mill was constructed in 1830. The mill was later purchased in 1930 by R. Tate McKenzie and converted into his wife Ethel's summer home and studio. Tate and his good friend James Naismith used to roam these fields during their youth, with both boys attending school nearby. The museum and site are dedicated to preserving and conserving both the history of these two great men and the natural history of the area. The stone building, which sits in the main parking area, was built by John Baird in 1830 and once housed the Benny's Corners General Store. This building is known as the Gatehouse now, and it hosts a rental space, offices, and artifact storage. The upper floor of the museum is home to one of the largest collections of R. Tate McKenzie sculptures in the world. During Mackenzie's summers here from 1931 to 1938, he would sculpt, paint, write, and just enjoy the beauty of his surroundings. He and his wife, Ethel, hosted many guests here during the summer months, from Mackenzie King to Sir Robert Borden. In 1967, the cloister on the hill was constructed to commemorate the 100th anniversary of R. Tate McKenzie's birth. This area is now a popular venue for many weddings every year. One of the museum's best-kept secrets is the Naismith Stone. As kids, Naismith, McKenzie, and their friends would gather near a large stone at the blacksmith's yard near their one-room schoolhouse and play a game called Duck on a Rock. The game involved placing a rock, called the duck, on the stone. While one person guarded the duck, the other stood 10 to 15 feet away, trying to displace it from its perch by hurling rocks of their own. Eventually, the kids developed a strategy of lobbing their rock high in the air, arching over the guard to achieve this goal. The rules of the game and the development of the lob shot stuck with Naismith and later became the basis of basketball. The Naismith Play Area is a tribute to James Naismith's family, both locally and internationally, for the continued support of the museum. As we look towards the next anniversary and beyond, we also look to the future of the Lanark County Museums Network. The Lanark County Museums Network plans to soon incorporate as Lanark County Arts and Heritage. This change will both open new avenues to continue our work and also be more inclusive to what and who we are. We are museums, archives, art presenters, community hubs, and historical societies. We are looking to the future, inclusive of emerging, mid-career, and distinguished career museum professionals. We look forward to going into the future together.